How would you describe it? Is it fun to play against a guy you know like that? Is it a little more pressure, or is it just like you know each other so well you're trying to one-up each other?
I'd say it's enjoyable as far as just having a relationship beyond the game, but ultimately just trying to execute what I'm trying to do. It's that's about it, really. Yeah.
But you know him a little bit. I mean, you've practiced against him for a long time. Does that give you the advantage, or does that give him the advantage?
I don't think you say one way or the other. It's totally different teams, different years. I'm sure we're different from the last time we saw each other. But yeah, I imagine we're both going to be trying to execute the best that we can.
One last question. This team always comes out on top on these close games. Situational masters is one thing, but is it also that you guys just kind of have that part of your DNA?
That's what we strive for. Every game presents its own challenges, but we have a good group and strong chemistry and belief in somebody making a play when it's needed most, and so that's kind of our recipe, I'd say.
I was talking to Scott Studwell, the former middle linebacker here the other day, and I was just talking about the way you guys rotate linebackers, and he said that it's high energy, but you got to have guys that know what to do on every play because there's so many different guys coming in. Now, tell me about that strategy. You know exactly what's expected of you, how many plays you're going to play consecutively, all those things that you guys have been able to seem to rotate and not miss a beat.
Yeah, I think it just comes with the understanding of the game, kind of how we're trying to attack them, and you just got to be ready when your name's called, and you don't go into a game with a certain amount of rep count or this. It's going to happen like this or that. Every game's different and unique in its own way, and you just got to be ready. And we got a great group of guys that come in that work hard, that do the right things, and Flo is consistently putting us in the right position to make plays and to succeed. And you just got to have that mindset and that energy that you're just going to go in there and play your best ball, and that's what we got a bunch of guys on defense that do that.
Is aggressive the key word?
Flo always talks about fundamentals and techniques, just doing your job, and the rest he doesn't know who's going to make the play. There's always going to be somebody. There's always, as long as you're not going out of control and kind of doing too much, because then you can give up big plays as well. So it's just doing your job, trusting the guy next to you, and big plays will happen for us.
What did you think of Flo wearing your shirt yesterday and showing support for your flood relief cause?
Oh man, that's awesome. That's kind of what it's all about. Those guys in Iowa are still hurt and they're still trying to rebuild their houses. We build their, a lot of these guys lost jobs. They lost their businesses, and just to see guys hurting like that, it's tough. And for Flo to give, to represent, like me and kind of my community back home and all those that were affected is enormous for me. And I just can't thank Land O'Lakes enough for, matching the proceeds and for doing what they're doing, setting this all up and making it possible.
What's it like to be 10-2 and have every game in December mean a little bit more the more you win?
December is where it all, starts to come together, and when the games really start to matter. And you just got to be a little bit more detailed. You got to be a little bit more focused, and just have that drive, because this is where teams are pushing for the playoffs. Teams are figuring out who they really are. Your tape's out there, and people are starting to scheme you up. So you just got to be dialed in on your fundamentals and getting back to the basics and just playing great team ball.
What's it going to be like Sunday when we see Kirko on the other side?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to see him. It'll be friendly post-game. I know his mentality, he's going to want to go out and win just like we're going to want to do. But we've got a great relationship. It was a joy to play with him for 5 years. I've got nothing but good things to say about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you probably were as close as anybody here just because you guys work so closely together and communicated too, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of that, working through problems and solving problems for 5 years. I can't think of anyone better that I could start my career with and play that many games with. So he's the ultimate pro. He's an awesome guy off the field. I've learned a ton from him.
What does it say about this team that when there's a close game, Minnesota always ends out on top?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to win the game. doesn't really matter how it goes. I'd like to not have to be down by two scores. But it's whatever it takes. It's some of these games it's been defense picking us up, some offense. But it's a team. That's why it's a team sport. We're playing good complementary football, and we got to keep it going.
I know you guys want to pick up that run game a little bit. Do you think it's there? Do you think it's close?
Yeah, absolutely. We have full confidence in the guys up front, the tight ends, the running backs, and it helps out the whole offense. So the more that we can get that going, the more that we can establish that line of scrimmage, the better our offense will be.
I know you didn't play against him last year because you weren't here, but I'm sure you've heard some stories about Kirk Cousins and what he meant to this franchise.
Oh yeah. We already kind of started that process of about how it's going to go when we get asked these questions. Understand that now he's on the other side of it. So the main thing is we got to make things tough on him, and we can be all friendly and buddy and friends after the game.
When Kirk's been kind of amazing at when he has a bad game, he comes back pretty strong the next game. Are you guys pretty aware of that?
Yeah, we're pretty aware, but I feel like we've been getting every team's best. As everybody can see the last couple of weeks, it's been close games. So I think that's what we'll expect. I think it's not about just it being Kirk. I think it's about any team can come out here and give out their best, and they know that what type of team we are. You can't come out here halfway doing it or slacking, and because of that, we always get the team's best. So we always looking forward to that.
You guys were under the radar for a while, but when you're 10-2, you're no longer under the radar in the NFL.
I think that's something that we ain't really focused too much on. I think that's the good thing about this organization, the way we kind of approach this going into this season. It's always been the 1-0 mentality, taking it one day at a time. And when you're doing it that way, it's nothing that can really come into distracting anybody in this locker room. We so focused on the next one that we're not too really worried about what's going on in the outside world.
Kevin talks about situational awareness and situations you guys get in, but there's also got to be part of your DNA that you guys close games. Close games, you come up with interceptions, someone comes up with a big play to close that thing out. Is that just part of the fabric of this team?
Most definitely. I feel like we got a mentality where, it doesn't matter who it's going to be. If everybody in the right spots, somebody's going to make a play. It's a very unselfish defense when it comes to that. And, when it comes to closing out games, it's everybody depending on each other. We got a type of defense that got that type of trust and faith in each other. We know somebody's going to make the play. We just got to be in the right spots and do our job. And when it comes to games like that, that's the ones who do it right the longest are the ones that usually win. And that's the type of defense that we've been great.
Might allow us to, still try to get as creative as we can to make it as difficult as we can for him. But, he is who he is for a reason. He's one of the best in the game, puts the ball wherever he wants to, makes all the checks, knows all the right reads, knows his full progression, knows where the weak spots are, and is also a great guy. So it'll be fun, and I can't wait to play him.
How do you balance out just having known him as a teammate and watching him every day in practice and also scouting him as a Falcon now?
Some of the buddies are making jokes that if I do end up getting to get a hit on him, I can't help him up apparently, but I still might put my hand out and see. It's too good of a guy. But once you get across those white lines, the competitive juices flow. This is a playoff type game. This is a playoff atmosphere playing at home in December, this late in the season. So once that adrenaline stuff comes, you're very civil and very friendly, but it's also like an extremely violent and competitive sport. So it's an easy switch.
Yeah, it's an honor to step in and make some plays for my team, help us get a victory. So, it's been awesome.
Are you kind of a surprise factor out there, and they might be looking at some of the other guys, and you kind of swoop in and make a big play?
Yeah, it could be on some plays. It's hard to really fit me into one role because I do some blocking as well as some pass catching. So, just whatever works.
Did you get a little more excited when you see the opportunity for that pass catch, or is it the blocking satisfy you enough?
It's always great catching a touchdown pass, man. Always great.
Yeah, you got a few of them. What, you keep that football? What do you do with it?
No, just spiked it and let the equipment team handle that.
You'll be back for one more? Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's the idea.
This team winning in December, that's a sign of a good team. What's different about December football?
Everything's just ratcheted up a little bit more. Each play's got a little more focus, and teams are fighting to really make it into the postseason. So you just got to handle that and do our thing.
You're going to be up against Kirk this week. Know him pretty well. NFL, you do play against your friends, but is this a little bit different?
Yeah, Kirk's a great human being and a great football player. So I'm excited to see what he has to, offer at U.S. Bank, but we're going to take care of him.
Where's that game ball at right now?
They still got it. I had to get back to equipment real quick so they can get back to me.
That had to be a pretty big feeling, you know, your journey here, and all of a sudden you're getting a game ball in an NFL locker room.
Oh, yes, it was a great feeling. I almost got a little emotional when he was saying it, you know, but it took a lot for me to get here to this point. I wouldn't trade in for the world, honestly, everything I went through.
Oh, they're watching you. How did that happen? How did you make it when, you know, a lot of other people in your position would not have?
Honestly, just I got a good support system. My family, having everybody in my corner that's still backing me, and knew I can still get here with everything that happened. But that's what I'll say, my support system.
Did you ever think about giving up?
A little bit I did, but no, not really. No, I knew this is where I wanted to be. This is my dream, and I'm living it. So I just want to stay here and stay somewhere, you know.
You're playing in the United Football League this spring. What are the odds that you're standing here in this locker room now a rotational player in the NFL?
Man, the odds, I couldn't put a number on it, but it was slim, you know, but I think that's a good avenue. That UFL is a great avenue for guys like myself. A lot of guys got a chance after the season, and that was good to see.
So you just kind of needed that chance.
Yeah, yes, sir. Basically, yeah, just needed a chance, needed another little push, and that's what that was for me.
How are you getting? You're getting a lot of depth. You're getting in the backfield. How are you making that happen?
Honestly, just my technique, just learning, you know, from my coaches, everything, the game plan that Coach Phillips putting in. It's kind of made for guys like me.
One last question. There was a guy, a little smaller guy compared to other guy, kind of came in as a free agent, did okay. His name was John Randall. Have you ever heard about him?
Of course I have. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I have. He was just here, I think, last week. I've never seen him, never met him in my life, but I got a chance to see him. So that was good to do.
That's kind of your story, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think so.
Wasn't terrible because, like, it gives you a chance to heal, gives you a chance to kind of just, I don't know, get your body right so that when you do come back, you're at 100% and you can help the team, you know, to your best ability. It was tough, you know, just seeing all the guys and watching them go through their daily routine, and then I'm just like getting treatment, heading out the door and heading home. So, but it's definitely nice to be back.
How weird was it just seeing 2/3 of your special teams unit go down between you and Will, and having to reform the specialists?
Yeah, that was weird. And I didn't even know anything happened to Will until the next day when I came in here to get looked at, and Will was in there. And I was like, "Hey, how you feeling?" And he had kind of talked about it. And then that night I saw kind of like the official announcement and everything, and I was like, well, this is weird. I'd never seen that before, and it happened to us was even weirder. So, but yeah, you know, we'll see. I guess we'll see when Will comes back, but it'll be nice to have all three of us back working together again.
And now you're back, and you're a 10-2 football team, and you're chasing the playoff spot with 4 or 5 games to go. Just what's that whole dynamic like of the spot you're in right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. You know, it's better to be 10-2 and instead of 2-10 always, but I was talking to this earlier. This is only the second time in my career I've gotten to 10 wins, and it's not something that I take for granted. I'm trying to tell it to these guys, especially younger guys. Like, it doesn't happen all the time. So to really take it serious and kind of come to work locked in, because there's still a lot more work to do.
I know football is a business, but is it a little bit different this week with, you know, seeing Kirk again after all the years he spent here?
I mean, not really. No, it's just, you know, I'm close with Kirk. He's a very good friend of mine. He's on another team, but it is business and it's a game. I mean, I love Kirk to death. He's a very good friend of mine. So it'll be nice to see him back here in Minnesota, but I'm interested to see how the crowd receives him.
Right. Well, and is it that much more important to not make it too much about that and making sure you get the win?
Probably. I mean, to us, I think our mindset going into each week has been awesome this year, just to go 1-0. It's about us. It's not about the other team. So we kind of preach that, not just this game, but every week, and that's just the mantra we're taking into this one too.